generative AI that we're now seeing will absolutely transform work of today, tomorrow, and the future.
Is there a particular area in the various fields of AI that are evolving that excite you in particular, or are you driven more by the innovation and the use case potential of how it makes things possible for people all over the world?
You couldn't say it more eloquently, Corinne. So I think both are incredibly exciting, but I think that the generative AI that we're now seeing will absolutely transform work of today, tomorrow, and the future. I think that's where I'm getting most excited. I'm getting most excited about the concept of being able to deploy generative AI to take the mundane out of some of the jobs we have. So a good example is the legal profession. I'm very excited about the concept of the legal profession being able to use past precedent built into databases where they no longer need to have associates leaf through massive tomes, massive books to understand what it is that makes a good case in that particular field, but being able to just search through a database and find the winning argument for a case. I mean, that is taking the mundane out of that job and improving the job for those individuals. Now, it's also fair to say, I think, Carenza, that we'll see some jobs disappear as a matter of course, but we'll see new jobs. And I mean, I refer to a number of historical technologies that were transformative like this one. You know, when James Watt, that great Scot, designed the steam engine in the 1770s, it meant that carriage drivers no longer had roles, no longer had jobs, but there was a new job for a steam engine driver. So let's just hope that we have the clarity of thought around the new jobs and taking the mundane out of some of the more boring jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And do you have a sense of what are the types of skills that human beings will need to be developing over the next few years and really dialing up to in the face of both the opportunities and the challenges of what's happening in AI?
So I think really interestingly, so my background is psychology and human-computer interaction. And the field of psychology, human-computer interaction that I specialised in, you need to be slightly creative to be able to design technology, but also equally, you need to understand technology and you need to have a mathematical mind. So by merging the creatives with the technologists, I think that's where we need to look at building new skills. It's no longer sufficient for a coder to just be able to code. He needs to be able to be a prompt engineer. He needs to be able to think outside the box around what it is that needs coded, how we will code that in the future. And I think our creatives need to understand more about technology. So I think creativity is one of the skills that we're all going to have to increase our knowledge around.
And with your background in psychology, Catriona, I imagine you're always thinking, with all of the different innovations you're working on, all of the ideas you're working on, and also all the clients you work with, how the mind works and how people function. And I wonder if we could just invite you to talk a little bit as well about the work that you're pioneering in diversity and how that's leading to different approaches of getting the best out of people and enabling them to really flourish in the working world.
So I mentioned talent earlier on as one of the key tenets for organisations now. And I think now with the transformation agenda and the way that technology is so complex, we have this huge ecosystem, don't we, in organisations, software, hardware. It's an incredibly complex environment. And therefore, you've got to have some incredibly talented individuals and specialists in different areas. Our business decided that it needed some more data scientists and data engineers to support what we do. And so what we did was we deployed a neurodiversity centre of excellence in the UK, based in Manchester. What we do within that centre is we recruit individuals who self-identify as having a neurodivergent trait. You know, that could be dyscalculia, it could be dyspraxia, it could be dyslexia, it could be autism, it could be ADHD. And what we ask those individuals to do is, if they'd like to join EY, we ask them to apply through a very different process from our normal recruitment process. It's not interview. What we do is we ask them to apply in writing, and then we ask them to a thing called Super Week. The Super Week is a 4-day work experience with us. You can join us from home, work from home if you've got the right setup at home, or you can come into the office. And after 4 days, they've assessed us to see whether or not they actually would like to work with us, and we've assessed them. And hopefully there's a happy marriage, and then they join our firm. Now, we've had some brilliant people join our Neurodiversity Centre of Excellence who are data scientists and data engineers. And the reason that they're absolutely brilliant is because they think completely differently. Neurotypical thinking is kind of boxed into, certain processes, whereas in our findings, blended teams or neurodiverse teams just bring an incredibly different layer of thinking to our work projects. There's one individual in our Manchester centre who's brilliant, by the way, who's working a couple of levels above where he really ought to be because he's just doing such a superb job in his data analytics role. So it's been a real. I'm very proud of what we've done. Our individuals who work for us and our staff as a whole are very, very proud of our Neurodiverse Centre of Excellence. And indeed, the neurodiversity agenda within EY for our staff has also shifted recently. We've got an incredible amount of support in place for neurodivergent individuals. And we find that supportive environments that we can design and develop around them is really important. So we have transformed our office in Manchester to help those individuals, and we're transforming some of our other offices to improve the context within which those people work. One of our centres, which started 6 years ago, is a 95% retention rate for data engineers. And we all know that holding on to data scientists and data talented engineers is really tough. Typically, they'll hang around for a couple of years, whereas in that particular centre, 6 years, 95% have continued to work with us, which we're delighted about. Delighted.
Well, congratulations. It's staggering, and it's the best example I've come across in the last few years. So really, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was the first of its kind. It's the first of its kind in the UK, I think, as well, Catriona, wasn't it? I mean, I'd be really keen to see how that sort of plays out, and hopefully that will get adopted across other organisations as well.
I think there's a lot of work at the moment going on within British business as a whole to improve the environment and improve our recruitment processes. In fact, so much so that we've won some recruitment advertising awards recently for the differentiated way we've recruited. And I do hope that some of those learnings from that recruitment process filter through into our general processes, because I do think we've improved matters, not just for the neurodivergent, but also for us more generally across EY and our processes.